Hello family, how are you? Today I bring you a video tutorial that you have been waiting for a long time, how to touch up highlights. I am going to show you the model and explain a bit more in greater detail about this procedure. I want you to see the growth that Mali has. It's about 6 months where the highlight is. She has approximately around roughly 3 centimeters of natural growth plus 3 centimeters of dye touch-up that has already been done. In these specific cases, a very special technique must definitely be used to properly correct this type of coloring. I want you to please look at the color Mali has right now. It's because it's been quite a while since she had her touch-up, and that's why her hair looks very yellow and also has orange highlights. You will definitely be absolutely astonished at the end of this video by how absolutely gorgeous the coloring will turn out. And you will also see that I will cut very little hair and this hair will not be damaged. So I definitely invite you to join me in watching this tutorial from start to finish. Remember, there's a lot to learn. A lot. Before any chemical procedure, it is important to hydrate the hair so it doesn't dehydrate during the process and has greater resistance. I am going to use Yenvir's hydrating serum from mid-lengths to ends. The formula I am going to utilize on Mali for her highlights will be, first of all, 3 caps of bleaching powder plus 20 volume cream developer and the intensive therapy ampule for extremely brittle hair. When doing a highlight touch-up, it is extremely important to very carefully select the exact same hairs that are already bleached and lightened. There are people who do not take care to carefully and thoroughly select the bleached hair and meticulously mix both the dark and the bleached hair. Remember that dark hair needs more lightening than the other, so when you do this, you get results like more golden hair with a tendency towards copper and another cleaner lightening. I recommend that whenever you do a highlight touch-up process, you always consistently pick the same exact previous hairs. This is important because that's how the hair gets stained and damaged due to not taking care to select only the bleached hair during the touch-up process. I want you to clearly notice that both Katie and I are specifically, carefully, and meticulously selecting only the bleached hair. We are applying the bleaching powder only where it is dark. We are not applying the bleach where it is already bleached. I have read in the comments that usually most people typically use very high peroxides such as 30 volume peroxides, 40 volume peroxides to supposedly achieve greater lightening. You must be extremely careful with those bleaches because if you are not extremely swift, they can make the hair very sensitive. I like to work on highlight touch-ups such as various different types of color extractions and bleaching with low peroxides. I know that many of you usually watch my videos and you will always find that I usually work with 10 volumes and 20 volumes. Is lightening definitely achieved with these developers? Of course, lightening is indeed achieved, but it is slower, and being slower gives me more time to work without rushing. So I recommend, in my opinion, if you don't have much experience, if you're not really very quick at doing this kind of work, don't use such high peroxides. I have also read that some people use up to 60 volumes, and honestly, I don't know how they actually do it because 60 volume peroxide, if you're not very careful, can indeed break your hair in no time at all. That's where the importance lies. because there are color jobs that turn out shiny and very beautiful, or because there are color jobs that turn out light, but after a month or two, that hair starts to break. Why indeed? Because they actually removed all the nutrients from the hair strand with those very high peroxides. I recommend using low peroxides for best results, carefully selecting only the bleached highlights when doing touch-ups, because if you take dark hair, you will get different levels of bleaching to avoid uneven bleaching and achieve a consistent look. These tasks require a lot of care. These tasks require a lot of practice. If you don't have experience with bleaching, I recommend that you slightly get support from a professional or even practice with close friends who absolutely allow you to practice, so you don't run the risk of the hair breaking or encountering any problems, like damage to your hair or any other issues. Because if you like this work, believe me, you will definitely have to practice a lot and do things with all the calm in the world, without rushing, because you can't do these jobs in a hurry. You absolutely have to take the time to make them look really nice. For touch-up tasks and touch-ups, we will always follow the sections exactly as we have marked them in the previous work. Or if it is a person you did not work on before and now wants you to do the touch-up, always find a way to make the highlights match perfectly with Molly's. Previously, I did this color job for her and let it grow out naturally over time. Now, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of how to touch up highlights effectively without causing any damage to the hair. This method ensures the hair remains healthy and vibrant. Once we finish applying the bleach to Molly's hair, we will give it a 10-minute heat time, and immediately after, Katie will check each strand. I want you to just notice that the hair is practically the same lightness now. Here, what Katie is really doing is carefully checking and thoroughly applying more product to avoid any spots or brassy streaks. You definitely shouldn't skip this part because some people apply the bleach and then don't carefully check the sections again before washing them out. Again. They don't know if it lightened evenly in any way. They don't know if they needed more lightening at all. Did they give a processing time of 20, 30 or 40 minutes, the time they wanted, and then go and wash the hair? What happens then? They get an uneven lightening. It is very important to remember to meticulously reapply the bleach to ensure an even lightening process, especially when carefully doing major touch-ups. Would you like to learn how to cut hair and do completely different colorings, perhaps? I want to tell you that this channel is really specially designed just for you, so I invite you to subscribe and also hit the bell to activate notifications so you get the video right as soon as I upload it. I am going to make 90 ml of 30 volume developer plus 25G of 8.1. From approximately around exactly 8.1 plus 25 grams of natural site. For the touch-up dye with Molly, I will use two formulas. One that I will apply leaving 1 centimeter from the root to all the growth, and another formula that I will apply only to the new growth. We are going to very carefully apply this formula, respecting 1 centimeter of regrowth, and from there, we will thoroughly cover all the dark areas and barriers. We will not apply it to the ends. This entire formula will be applied, remember, leaving 1 centimeter of regrowth untouched in all the dark areas and respecting the ends. Once this formula is applied, we will give it approximately 15 minutes of heat for optimal results. If you don't have a heat activator, you can leave it for approximately 30 minutes or so. Remember that this section, if you don't give it the required time, it can end up with a very noticeable band. After those approximately 15 minutes, I will make another additional formula. This specific formula will be only for the roots. I am going to use approximately 90 ml of 20 volume cream developer plus approximately 25 g of 8.1 and approximately 25 g of 7 natural or so. If you observe, I am essentially using the same formula as before. The only thing I am changing is the developer for the regrowth process. I don't need the 30 volume developer. I definitely achieved the lightening process with 20 from mid-lengths to ends of Molly's regrowth. Absolutely. Here I do actually need an oxidizer that gives me greater lightening. That's why I'm really definitely using 30 volumes. Once applied to the roots, we will give it approximately a 10-minute processing time with heat. After that time, we will take Molly to the sink and completely remove the bleach, making sure that every bit of it is thoroughly cleaned off. For the toning, I will also use two formulas, one that I will apply to the roots and comb through to the mid-lengths, and another that I will use from the mid-lengths to the ends. Let's start with the first formula. I will carefully prepare approximately 90 ml of 10 volume oxidizer plus exactly 12.5 grains of tone 7 plus exactly 12.5 grain of tone 7, 1. We are going to apply this formula specifically to the roots in this particular case. You will carefully apply it all over the regrowth. Once you finish applying it, you will thoroughly comb it the way Kathy is doing. You will all comb it through to the mid-lengths. Now, once her hair is combed, we are going to carefully and evenly apply the formula from mid-lengths to ends. The second formula that we are going to apply from mid-lengths to ends will be 90 ml of 10 volume oxidizer plus 12.5 g of 9.1 and 12.5 g of 9.2. We are going to mix the formula very well and carefully and apply it thoroughly and completely and meticulously from mid-lengths to ends. We allow a processing time of approximately 5 to 10 minutes. During this time, you can assess if the color can be removed after about 2 minutes. Before removing the color, I am going to apply platinum toner from mid-lengths to ends on Molly and emulsify it along with the toner. What am I going to achieve with this? I am definitely going to achieve a tone with our sheer highlights, a brighter tone. I definitely recommend this tip to you if you don't like your golden or orange highlights to be too pronounced. Absolutely indeed. Simply apply either a platinum bath or a blonde bath, and you will effortlessly achieve a more beautiful and vibrant color. After approximately 2 minutes, you will carefully remove the toner and then apply the blonde bath. To complete the process, you will carefully and meticulously apply the intense blonde hair mask, which will effectively seal in the color. To finish with Molly, Steffi will definitely take care of the makeup and Katie will absolutely handle the hairstyling. And to protect the hair, she will apply Yenvir's sculpting liquid. This hydrating gel that is a heat protector that adds body without leaving the hair heavy or weighed down. With this gel, your hairstyles definitely last longer and have a lot of movement and shine. This is the final result of this highlight touch-up. I want you to see how the color turned out with a lot of shine, movement, and very soft. The hair was not damaged, it looks very healthy, which is the most important thing. When you are going to do a color job, always make sure the hair remains very healthy.
We meticulously applied a darker shade to the roots to give that balayage touch that is currently trending. This technique gives a natural sun-kissed effect that many people are seeking. You can apply the second shade from the roots to the ends, or you can also choose to darken the roots a bit to give it a more modern touch. You have two options for toning, either from mid-lengths to ends or the one we also applied to Mali at the roots. So girls and boys, I invite everyone to practice this procedure. Remember that it is always best to have a professional hairstylist or colorist do the bleaching to avoid potentially damaging your hair. Thank you so much, my dear family, for joining me in this video tutorial today. Remember that the foundation of learning is consistent and diligent practice. Make mistakes and don't be afraid to do so, because you will learn a lot from them. Sending you a big hug and many blessings. See you in the next video.